ActiveView is the host software application for the Biosemi ActiveTwo biopotential recording system. ActiveView is a flexible, high-fidelity system for recording EEG, ECG, EMG, and other biosignals in research applications. The ActiveView host software and drivers are available for Mac OS, Windows, and Linux. Today I'm going to walk through the process for installing ActiveView 9.02 on the latest Mac OS version 13, Mac OS Ventura. Following a similar process, you should be able to install the same version of ActiveView on version 12, Mac OS Monterey, and version 11, Mac OS Big Sur. Inevitably, versions of Mac OS and ActiveView will continue marching forward, so this process may not be precisely the same for future versions, but when the process changes materially, I will make a new video in the future. To begin, visit the Biosemi website, click on the download item at the left menu, and click the links to download the ActiveView software and the associated LabVIEW runtime engine. The LabVIEW installer is delivered as a notarized digital image file, DMG, and when you open it, you should see a screen that looks something like this, only the version will be 2021. Click on the opening box icon at the left to begin the installation process. Once installed, you can safely remove the downloaded DMG file. ActiveView is delivered as a zip file containing the application and all required resources in a single file with appropriate file path relationships. To unzip the contents of the file, double-click on the zip file. The unzipped contents will land in the same folder as the original zip file. As a general rule, this means the contents of the file will land in the Downloads folder. You can move the entire ActiveView folder into the Applications folder for the sake of organizational clarity. For convenient access, you may want to add ActiveView to the dock. To do so, press and hold the left mouse button as you drag the app file to the dock, then release. For convenient access to configuration files, you may want to add the configuring folder to the favorites in Finder. This will make it easy to access all of your configuration files when you load ActiveView. While you're at it, you may also want to create a folder structure to contain the recorded EEG data files and place a link to that folder structure in favorites as well. The first time you open ActiveView, you'll see that Mac OS recognizes that the app is not notarized. To address that, you will need to navigate to System Preferences by clicking the gear icon in the dock. And in the dialog that appears, scroll down to Privacy and Security at left. In the panel at right, after you have selected Cancel on the security warning, an option to Open Anyway will appear. And once you click on that, you'll be able to open ActiveView without delay in the future by clicking the icon in the dock. You'll need to enter your password and reconfirm that you are sure that you want to make this change, but after that, ActiveView will load smoothly. Immediately after ActiveView opens, it will open a dialog box asking you to select a configuration file to use. Note that the dialog points to an unknown location called D, but since we have already placed a link to the configuring folder in the favorites, we can select that link and choose a configuration from that folder that matches our number of channels and labeling scheme. Finally, since this is the first time we have opened the selected configuration file, ActiveView asks us to agree not to use the system to diagnose patients. Check the option to agree and be sure to check the option at the bottom for this dialog not to be shown again. This dialog will be shown at a minimum on the first use of a new configuration file. Returning to the matter of configuration files, I recommend starting with one of the standard configuration files containing the channel labeling scheme that matches your caps and electrodes, and make changes to that configuration to suit your purposes. For example, you may want to disable the filters at left by clicking in the checkboxes and reduce the sampling rate by selecting a decimation ratio less than 1. Once you've made these changes, you can click on About Configure, select Save Config at left, select the configuring folder as the location in which to save the file, and enter a new name for the configuration file. Once you've done that, you can close ActiveView and restart it. The software will ask you which configuration file to use. Now you can click on the configuring link you created in Favorites, and then select the configuration file you want to use by name. When ActiveView displays the intended use statement dialog box, it wants you to agree not to use the system for diagnostic purposes. Select I agree, and to avoid seeing this dialog the next time you use this configuration file, be sure to select the option at the bottom to prevent the dialog from being displayed again. After that, the software will have been configured for your experiment, and you can click Start at the top left to view incoming signals.